Alright, there's a slowpoke on the screen. It is 8:50 at night. We're here to talk about Pokemans. Welcome back, your favorite boys are here again. And this week's
SAPA gaming.
Yes. This week's side event was Stadium OU Rentals from Gen 1. So
what a cool format.
This is a really cool format. It was a lot of fun to watch, and this replay in particular kind of encapsulates all the random bullshit that kind of goes on here. So we'll just kind of let the gameplay speak for itself for a bit. So I know you see the metronome going on. You see Gengar, you see Snorlax. You're gonna see a lot of these guys.
Oh my god, he turned one, woke up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for Stadium Rentals, every Pokemon only has the 4 moves that they are assigned if you were to actually go play Stadium on your Nintendo 64. Mm-hmm. So there are lots of... Wow. There are lots of Pokemon that are either very good or very bad.
Yes.
And have very limited coverage options. So you're going to see Snorlax hitting Metronome here, not because it's particularly bad, but because it really doesn't have an option.
It doesn't have anything else that it really wants to do.
So you might as well fish for something funny. And yeah, in doing so, it did force it out. And as we're looking at the two teams here, each of these teams are actually pretty high tier mons on every single Pokemon here. You see a couple duplicates in Snorlax and Gengar.
Yeah, which is funny because like you don't think Dragonair would actually be good, and then in this game it doesn't really do anything. But now we see Snorlax. He's got his attack lowered. You know, he's it's not looking good for him as he's just kind of taking a snooze. You know, knowing that he just got a second turn, so now he's up and he's ready to rock.
Boom.
Metronome, boom, Dizzy Punch. Crit, didn't matter. And now this turn, Blizzard hits.
Ooh,
crazy.
Getting Blizzard. Gen 1 Blizzard, oh my god.
Yeah. And then getting Stun Spore was actually huge. Like,
yeah, I was so scared of Snorlax after, like, during this game. I'm like, what can't he do?
Yeah. This Snorlax was simply just defying the odds, you know, doing everything he can. And then the Screech, right?
Oh, man, that was
absolutely
such a
just
combo.
Neutralizing that attack drop into Thunder. We got Bolt Beam coverage going on. It's crazy. And the Snorlax just waking up on the first turn, you know, despite being known for sleep, this guy really doesn't want to snooze too long.
Oh, no. And then, boom, taking out the Gengar, it was, wow, it was the Snorlax show for sure.
Yeah, it was all about...
That's a highlight.
Yeah.
That is certainly a highlight of what he can do in Gen 1.
If you're a Metronome fan, this is as good as it gets. You know, he got basically everything he needed to succeed, and we love that for him.
Ethan versus Adam in Metronome battles when?
That's true. All right,
So
but now getting on to two other sets.
Yes.
This one makes me upset. So despite being the first real set we're going to talk about, this was the last set that was played when it was a 3-3 matchup, and the winner would take the week for their team. And I pulled up with my double water team. Kind of the whole goal is just to kind of break down all the checks as they go, and then kind of pursuit trap a lot of the things with Bandit Snorlax. Looking at Drew's team, he doesn't have any switch-ins to water moves. Because like Slowbro doesn't really want to take on Suicune and Kingdra in consecutive order. It's a tough order of business for him.
One thing I thought that was funny about Drew's team is it's almost a mono psychic team if you look at it. There are 4 psychic mons in the field there, and just kind of conveniently didn't have to go up against anything too scary against it this game 1.
Yeah.
So but besides that, what its purpose is, I'm actually not sure. I think it's really just a bulky balance core.
So calling out the Toxic, you know, going for Toxic there was obviously it was a really good play, but because Gligar does have immunity.
Oh yeah.
But you know, Gligar can't really do anything, and I don't have anything that wants to just directly switch into Bronzong.
Oh no, not a single mon over there wants.
But at least Kingdra getting Toxic, you know what? That's fine. You know, I could throw off a pretty free attack if I can hit it. So missing the Hydro Pump is very bad. Missing a second one, and now all of a sudden my biggest threat is done.
And that's definitely Specs Kingdra, right? With that damage roll on Dust
so, like,
yeah.
Specs Kingdra is very, very strong. Yes. But you know, Obviously, I
And
would
you
have just
had to-
two-shot the Dusclops if I had hit all my moves, and
Right.
that would have freed up Mean Shao to do a lot of things. And then this Dusclops actually lived the Hydro Pump. That was a roll.
I'm not even sure if I'm being
It was
honest.
a roll. I looked at it. I calced it. So
We have a pinned message in our team chat now that says, what is it? The calculator is a crutch, and that is pinned in our Discord.
yeah,
Just sometimes you just gotta roll it by feel here. It's like, look at this. This Dusclops came in. Yeah, he got some very big dodges, but he also toxic the two biggest threats to the team. Like, even if it seemed like he probably should have gotten out of there at times.
and that crit was huge too. Because that kind of kept Suicune would have had one more turn. So
And
that
even if
kind
it
of
was
limits
just, like-
a lot of things.
Yeah, even if it was just to like get a protect off and kill. Like the Suicune being out there one more turn, you get the advantage on the switch in compared to a neutral switch, which was Claydol and Gligar in this case. I did find it really funny that you brought Banded Snorlax both games.
Banded
'cause I was
Snorlax
curious.
is very good.
Yeah, I was curious if if the situation would come up where we'd have Dusclops versus Snorlax, and that could just be a forever game.
Yeah.
But T-Wave Slowbro, that's very unusual.
No, it's actually pretty standard. So the full para there sucks. Obviously, I got for spikes that turn. And, that would have been really nice, especially because I knew the YouTube was coming. And everything like that.
At this point in the game, even with all the bad luck, I still figured the game was on your side. This is exactly when I think I managed to start watching the game in person.
Yeah, so honestly,
myself-
from this point, I was kind of in a tricky spot where it's like I kind of had to crutch on Snorlax to do everything.
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely. It was totally the Snorlax show at this point.
Yeah.
It was just a matter of how does he get in safely,
Yes.
and whether or not he gets like chipped on the way in or burned with a Slowbro. Because even a paralyze is fine. You're banded. You're just looking to chunk one of the things on entry.
Yeah. So in this matchup, I'm about to get Psyshocked into Oblivion. I kind of forgot about it, to be completely honest. I didn't think about it because I did not want Victini in for free at this point. It was just, that was the worst thing that could happen, because then I get in the cycle and I don't really want to be on the back foot for that at the moment. And so I prioritized my spike. I figured he would be scared, and that would be fine. But I'm going to get evaporated.
Yeah, that was a huge call out by Drew.
Yeah.
I think figuring that I don't know if he would live a Leaf Storm, but even so, seeing that you're kind of bulky.
Giga Drain.
Yeah, even if you that Giga Drain isn't doing anything.
It would have done a lot. It would have put him in lax range for sure. But,
that's fine, but then he's
again, I have to fish for not getting Scald burned.
Yeah.
And obviously I get burned, so that's just kind of, the game is over at this point. So, I got Mean Shao here, and I kind of just
I was gonna say earlier, Slowbro ended up, when I came in at that turn, that was my opinion, was how healthy can Drew keep Slowbro, because that's his win con. Because if the Snorlax gets burned, even if he doesn't, that crunch to 22, right? That's doing 44 normally. Like, he kind of walls the whole team. So it took me a little bit to think about that. Like, I only realized that after the Psyshock went off and went, wait a minute, Slowbro can win the whole thing here.
Yeah.
And that's just it's honestly a big threat in Black and White UU that no one's really shown off so far this season.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I did it when we had our draft. I had Slowbro, and he was the MVP. He was great.
Of course. But specifically just in this SAPA format.
But I think honestly, in this game, I probably could have pulled this one off if I played a little better, but I was obviously just tilted out of my mind. So I was like, whatever, we're on to the next game. And I actually brought this team against Will before.
Yep, we've seen this one. This is a tried and true. Did you bring a steel type moment? Yes, no.
And he did not. So I said, all right, I'm gonna click Outrage.
Yep. And I think lead Swampert here was a pretty cool one. Getting the rocks up was pretty safe against everybody you had, but then I wasn't sure about the sack this early on. There was no switching, but Bongo Drongo.
Yeah. Also,
really
that critical hit was absolutely massive.
Oh, absolutely, sure.
Because that that was like, oh shit,
But then watching
what the fuck am I supposed to do?
67 to Blastoise.
Yeah.
Two-thirds of his water walls are gone already.
And of course, hit myself in confusion. That's not great either. But Overliable Gary's here.
Yeah.
It's just
and
nice.
Then, talk to me about this nickname.
Yeah, and here's a Mega Charizard. You know, it's definitely.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So, it's the freest roost of all time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no.
And, I gotta figure out what his Zapdos set is, because he doesn't have an electric switch in at this point. And turns out we are the same.
You're the same, except he is you, but stronger. And then he wins the speed tie.
And he got the high roll, and I got the lowest roll of all time. So, yeah.
Did it matter?
Did it matter in this grand scheme? No. But, you know. So,
yeah,
obviously, Darmanitan coming in says, oh, I'm scarfed, you know, let Bongo go down, take the chip.
Right. And then Drew making a good U-turn there, even though, like, if Heracross stayed in that, you know.
Yeah, you have to do that. I'm not at a point where I can, like, you know, lock into CC safely with Crobat around.
Oh, yeah, no. Back-end Crobat with no Rocks up is so good.
Yeah,
and I was thinking about that the whole time. Like, what if Crobat wins this game and then he switches him into an HP Electric? Which was fine, because it could have been HP Grass. He didn't know yet.
Yeah.
But, like, I was thinking for a while Crobat was the win con. Like, even more so than Scarfed Arm.
Yeah.
As for you,
I knew that Calm Mind wasn't happening in this game.
Yeah, because, well, especially with the Toxic, yeah. Sure.
So, you know, him going for U-turn, I kind of had to make him call that out, and I go for Ice Beam, not letting Crobat in for free. Because right now he is the biggest threat. So, you know, I can now go into Golurk and get threaten up rocks.
Yeah, late game rocks here was really, really a good idea.
Because I was actually running Calcs, because I was looking at Bisharp to basically win my game for me. Even with Heracross around, I knew if I could get it into a range where Life Orb Sucker would kill. And I was also trying to scout for Taunt. So I had a feeling he was Taunt as soon as I saw Sludge.
Well, I think Crobat should, unless they're banded, should always be Sludge.
Yeah, oh, definitely. I just wanted to see Taunt, because if he didn't have Taunt, then I could have SD'd, brought Bisharp in and SD'd and won the game.
I do want to talk about this Heracross, though. Pause the game a little earlier. I think it's neat that right around here, right, with the Crobat going down on 54%.
Yeah.
Like, that's a huge Brave Bird, right? And taunting after the Stealth Rocks on Golurk, I feel like isn't the best play. Only because
I'm surprised he went for it again.
Yeah, only because if you hit off those, like, even though you were hitting Protect, right? Like, you either taunt it first to stop the rocks, or you Brave Bird twice, to get it down the chip to Heracross and try to Moxie Sweep.
Yeah, I also looked at it of, you know, you go for rocks, I wanted to see what he wanted to do. I was obviously scouting for taunt, but Protect was kind of like, that was all I needed to beat Heracross, was that one move. And as soon as he saw it, I think he was like, I can't let him Protect again. You know. So anyway, I let Gary go down.
Right. And now
I know Heracross is free here. You know, we're both scarfed, so I just lock into CC. I didn't even care if it didn't kill. If it was a roll or not, whatever, it didn't matter.
No, you knew
because
that
Darm is in sucker range. Both his guys are in sucker. The game was over. As soon as the
game was over, unless he had a secret sub Darm that wasn't actually scarfed the whole time.
Yeah, if I was really worried about seeing sub.
Yeah.
But like, but it's like I knew his set at that point.
It was fun. It was actually a good game too.
Yeah, game 2.
I think the biggest moment is that people don't respect dragon types enough in Gen 5 UU yet.
You should.
You should have an answer to them.
We had an entire season where I bullied everybody with Jordagon.
Right, and now Drew wasn't here for that, so I'm not going to blame him. And he made these teams all on his own in maybe 5 minutes. So I have no idea what the thought process is, but I will say I massively enjoyed every single one of them, and I hope that, like, it's those kind of teams that he brings in all these formats. This is what I want to see from all my guys. I want to see this creativity. I want to see them putting their favorite mons in and trying to make them work to what their playstyle is. Because I'm looking at this Meloetta, I'm looking at Scabally, and I'm thinking, okay, I know what I would do with them, but what is he going to do with them? And I'm looking at your guys, and I'm thinking, okay, Matt brought Arcanine. That's unusual. That's not a Matmon. What's he going to do with that? Yeah. And it turned out you were running probably the best Arcanine set of, in my opinion, for Gen 5.
I thought this set was crazy. So I'm going to kind of let this play a little bit. Looking at a team preview, I was like, bro, this was like the worst matchup. Milotic was like the worst thing I could have run into.
Oh yeah, no, right off the bat, Milotic slapped everything.
So I
here.
was at a disadvantage on team preview, and I didn't know what this Rotom was. I didn't know if it was Scarf, if it was Willow. Like I didn't know. I couldn't let Cobalion get burned. I couldn't let it die. So I was like, you know what? You know, Victini is pretty free here. And it's T-Wave, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of showing. It's probably a little bit bulky. You know, this was my thinking at the time. So it's like, all right, you know. It's like, all right, as long as I don't get paralyzed, you know, I'm good. I can U-turn. Yep. You know, get big lax in there. I can take any hit. And, you know, watch Big Bandit Snorlax do 82% to Machamp. So him on top, he's here because, you know, my Arcanine set really needs spin to kind of keep him.
You can't run Arcanine Victini without spin, in my opinion.
Also, if I had hit CC that turn, that would have done, I think, like
but man, the big if is this whole week people are playing on this confusion, right? As like a win con, and it's not a bad win con. It is literally a 50-50.
So I had to bring in, you know, Victini, and then, you know, I see Calm Mind. I'm like, ah, fuck.
Why did you bring in Victini here against Meloetta? I was unsure of that decision.
So my first thinking was this might be Specs.
Yeah.
And obviously I needed him on top. And I couldn't really threaten it out with Cobalion. And if he was Calm Mind, then I'm kind of fucked. And I can't let Snorlax switch in onto a Psychic, because that would then probably, if it was Life Orb, I couldn't really take the Focus Blast comfortably, because I need Snorlax to handle Kingdra too. So I figured...
I guess we didn't know what the Kingdra was yet.
I had no idea what it was. So I just assumed it was the scariest thing, which would have been, like, Specs.
But honestly, for your team, Double Dance.
Double Dance, yeah. Literally anything, so I just wanted Snorlax to kind of be that, you know, mid-ground play. I can kind of switch him in and be fine. Because I don't really have anything else that switches into Kingdra at all.
Were you willing, like, once it was Calm Mind, I guess you were willing to sack your Victini even though it was paralyzed?
Yeah, Victini wasn't going to do anything.
I assume it had, like, Trick, though, right?
Nope, he was not choiced at all.
Oh, he was the extra bell version? Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good set. But that's not a good set, weirdly enough, against this team that Drew brought. But now using your Snorlax as the revenge killer...
You know, I had to basically throw away my Snorlax to get Meloetta out of the game, which I was like, you know what, that's fine. You know,
that's totally worth it. Like, for Drew, he had to make that decision too, and I think it was worth it for both of you, because he needed the Snorlax down, and you needed the Meloetta down, and that's a big crit. That was a big crit.
I was really happy to finally get something on my side. So I was like, all right, you know what, I could get the recover in, you know what, and I could make some progress, and I missed the fucking Toxic. No. Not only do I miss the Toxic, I do get Scald burned.
Hold on, we're not there yet.
But I am going to get Scald burned.
There you go. Now we got it.
So at this point, I'm like, oh my god, I lose to Kingdra.
You need the Toxic this Milotic. And maybe it's the wrong play. I don't, like, it was the right play looking at your remaining team.
No, it was the play. It was the play. Because I had to get Arcanine in, and this was my only entry.
Yeah. It's gonna matter. It's just gonna matter with that Marvel scale being such a good ability.
Yeah, but at this point, I have to bank on Arcanine kind of doing everything and cleaning up with Flygon in the back. I don't have any other plays, so...
You're right, there is no other play to Milotic here. And here's the coolest Arcanine set, folks, that you can use. Screw the water types, Sunny Day Dog.
Yeah, and then, you know, 2-hit KOing Milotic, which is really nice.
Milotic,
since he's Toxic, you know, I know, he can recover, that's fine, I can get my souls back.
Yeah, it's great. With Fire boosted, Grass, Morning Sun, you cannot lose to this Milotic.
Yeah.
So he switches it out. Makes sense.
So obviously, you know, I can kind of just let it rip.
Look how much that did to Rotom Heat. That's a 27.
Yeah, so at this point, I gotta let Snorlax go down. Yep. And I was actually looking at numbers, because I thought it was bulky Rotom. I actually lived Volt Switch.
That's funny.
So I was like, oh, I might be able to... Because I saw lefties, I saw T-Wave, I'm like, okay, you know what? I might be able to live one. Turns out it was offensive.
No, you got crit me. Sure?
So I still didn't know anything about it.
I still don't know anything about that Rotom. I just think it's Heat. And it was very important, so...
Yeah. So now, you know, I'm on a timer, thinking, maybe I'll scare it out. I assumed it was bulky with how he was playing his team. He didn't have any other rocker anyway. And then, you know, missed the Fire Blast.
Big miss. I'm sure that would have killed. Well,
oh, it did. No, it would. It would have killed.
Probably would have killed. Yeah, it probably would have killed because the sun is just so much more damage, even when resisted. Because like, check out how much. Wait, did you go for solar?
No, I missed again.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. Oh
no,
man.
I just missed all my
man.
moves, and at this point, then he showed sub. Honestly, I was like, oh, is sub DD? Oh, this thing is literally not a threat.
Yeah. First of all, Drew, great play so far. Sub DD changer is not that good. I would recommend doing Rain Dance Special Sweeper if you want to do the
run
funny.
Specs. Run specs.
Or run specs. Yeah.
Just run specs.
I don't hate sub DD. I really don't. But you have to build your team around it. Like, you have to build your team around having Kingdra scare things out, and it's just, it's hard. Like, your opponent has to be playing a very stally team, which Matt doesn't really play. Like, even if you play bulky balance, you're not playing full stall.
It's still not even good.
Right. And that being said, we are seeing a little bit of endgame here.
Yeah.
Matt needs to figure out a way. You need to figure out a way, Matt, to get that Milotic at low HP so Flygon can sweep, because everything else can probably die here.
Which is why I went for Scald.
He has Willow and T-Wave on this Rotom Heat, which is unheard of.
I was like, what the fuck?
Unheard of, and then you crit through the Machamp. Probably mattered? I don't know.
It mattered.
Probably, yeah.
Both of those crits mattered. Both of them did. I have no attack investment at all. Both of them mattered. It was cool.
Okay.
But like, it really didn't. I couldn't beat this thing anyway.
You started getting your big momentum, possibly cool.
I was like, oh, if I get a super crit, and then he does.
Yeah, no. When I came into that turn 33, I really thought to myself, damn, Matt loves mixed Flygon. Where's the Draco? And then it was Earthquake, and I was that sad.
This set would have been very different if I hit half of my moves, let alone, all of them. Because I missed, how many Fire Blast? I missed every Fire Blast I used.
It's the bundle approach. Sometimes you hit Hydro Pump and do 0 damage, Like, it's a sad risk that we have to take when we run these super cool high base power mons.
Yeah.
But in the end of the day, I love the set from a spectator perspective. And I do think everybody should go back and watch that.
I think this was a good game. This was a bad game.
You're bubiased.
I am biased because I missed all my moves. This would have been a different game. This one.
Don't let your missed moves give away what I think was the set of the week. Okay.
I think you're objectively wrong. Drew, you're a heck of a player. I think this was a bad set.
Bad luck does not make a bad set. 2 good players making good plays is a good set, regardless of how they go.
No, the only good play I made was missing all of my moves. That was it. Anyway, we're gonna watch another game because I don't want to talk about that anymore because it was very bad and it made me upset. So, Chris and I, we cooked up. He's like, I want to use new Typhlosion. I said, all right, dope, let's do it. And we built a little webs team.
I promised.
And Chris brought rain. Brian, why do you continue to just make...
I made a big promise here. I said I had to talk about this. Okay, first, Chris... Wait, there's 2 Chris's. Chris on Matt's team.
THT, yes.
You have the coolest nicknames. This team... I'm a Shuckster with the red card Shuckle? Come on! That's so cool!
Yeah.
But second, red card Shuckle with Encore. That's not ideal. No,
because at that point you want to click webs. You want to get your rocks up,
Yeah, get your webs up. Don't Encore the turn that the red card's coming out. And then he got so unlucky and got the Mega Swampert coming out on the red card. It was just it was unlucky for the Shuckle.
Just to kind of let this go by, and even just looking at the team, this was just not a good matchup. For THT.
It's funny because Chris here, he just said, I want to bring rain. So he went to the Smogon forums and found a beginner's rain team and picked this. And said, yeah, that'll work. And I thought to myself, yeah, that probably loses the Rotom Wash, but I'm going to let him do it. Because I don't want to confuse him too much with like the difficulties of keeping certain rain mons just slam water moves, and that's really easy to understand to pretty much, hyper offense your way through. But then you started doing pretty good with Weak Seed.
Click the Mega button.
Oh, did you have Mega Scissor the whole time?
He's Mega Scissor.
Oh, that's really funny.
You have to click the Mega button.
Hey, Chris, always Mega.
Always click the Mega button.
Always Mega. There's no reason not
to.
There
are very few situations where you don't.
Wow.
Click it.
Ah, did
And then
forget?
the U-turn into Dead to Rocks. This was just not, the best THT performance. Just because, again, bad matchup, and Conk Chris was playing very well.
Honestly, yeah, a combination of Con Chris playing well, but Chris THT, he told me later on, he said he really gets his main teams better because he's been using them more. He's getting the hang of them. And I think these new teams, if he just wants to get, if he wants to figure them out, just take a few times, 1 or 2 matches, just practice.
Hit the ladder.
Go to one of your teammates and just go, hey, not even ladder. He did ladder with it, but just go to one of your teammates and be like, hey, can you just give me a quick friendly? Because they'll tell you what you might be doing wrong with the team, whereas a ladder opponent won't do that.
Yeah.
And then you can get, I know Chris THT's got the brain power to smoke us all in any game he wants. I've seen it. We've all seen it. Blood Bowl, Skullgirls, it's Ultimate Smash 4. It's all there. And here's Rotom Wash going to hold the team together real fast.
As he does.
As he does.
You simply cannot defeat the washing machine.
No, you cannot.
It's the story of...
Power was what, 30? Cool. But we're slowly coming to an end game of Tapu Lele versus the world, and I get wanting to leech seed there. Just kill this thing. This Rotom Wash is here. Nothing wants to switch into a Power Whip, and then you miss the Power Whip. So bad luck.
Yeah, but at this point, it's just like Rotom and Ferrothorn are just kind of existing.
Yeah, they're
in the singular plane.
Oh, I did get context onto why his nickname was Jimmy.
Mm.
I will be posting that to you momentarily.
Nice.
And to everybody else, I'll drop it in the Snom Worship channel. Please go watch.
But then at this point, Zappingtons is here.
Yeah.
And that's kind of that's the whole game, fellas.
Yeah, you would think that a Claire could do it, but you then remember he took 99% from the Mega Swampert, and
and exploded. Yeah.
Exploded.
So
not water absorbed Cloud.
Here we go. Taking a minute. But Chris also said before his set, he's like, other Chris likes to bring a lot of water types, so I'll probably just bring the Rillaboom team if this other one doesn't work out. So here he is.
Yep, and that is the team he is way more comfortable with, and it shows immediately.
Yes.
I was watching just him. Now, they weren't the hardest reads. He was making every single right switch in, and Chris did not have answers for it. First off, we're not even going to talk about that, but he did lose his Pelipper to a Rotom. Yes. You know your bulky Pelipper. That's an electric type. Just get him out of there. Get him out of there. U-turn, but just hard switch him out. It's never worth the risk.
Yep.
And then here he goes, taking a Mega Waterfall, taking 20 after lefties, which is absolutely nothing, and then stalling the rain even harder. No, this is...
Yeah.
That's
an example of how to lose a game on turn 1. Again, I feel like we say it every week. If you're going to bring rain teams, Pelipper is your most important asset. Do not lose him unless you are certain you are in a position where it is okay.
Exactly. And then on a second note here, if you do lose your rain setter, your best Pokemon, the thing that facilitates your whole sweep, right? And you're down. Start making reads. Start making double twitches. Start trying to call things out. Because obviously the Earthquake on Heatran is going to be huge, and you're stuck in there with him. But that there's a Rotom in the back that takes 0 damage. Try a superpower.
Try a Waterfall. I think Waterfall there is a pretty free move.
Or hit Waterfall. Yeah, obviously hit your rain boosting move. My apologies. There's nothing on the team that wants to take it. So sometimes you just gotta go a little bit above that first tier of thinking in Pokemon, especially when you're down a lot of months.
When you're down,
and that's something that's hard to learn. That's something you just gotta get the hang of. It's something you gotta put in your mind and think about while you're playing, because it's not gonna come naturally.
Yeah.
So, and Chris is gonna sit here with this Heatran on the last 3 forever.
Yeah. So at this point, we're gonna see, the fish. He's in, but it's a little bit.
Heatran attack, by the way, there, Chris did not need to do that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. It's the core of the team has been ripped so far apart, and we're gonna see Chris do what he does best, which is bring in Clodsire to sit on the last 2 mons, because that Hurricane does 28. Does get the confusion.
And there's a Toxic, and now Zapdos is on a timer.
Mm-hmm.
And
do you remember if either of these players Terra'd Matt?
No. Click the Terra button.
Yeah, it's Gen 9. Hit the Terra button. We haven't been, it's not banned yet.
Yeah.
Please.
I know we see this
it.
a lot in a lot of our Gen 8 and current gen sets. Utilize terrestrialization, not just offensively but defensively, and don't just wait for your last mon when you're in a very back foot position. Because I see that a lot, especially THT, where he just like won't click the Terra, and we're all screaming it in our heads like, "Oh, click Terra, you'll be fine," and then he'll save it for something else, which is like, it's still saving it for a good purpose, but like, if there's a time you go, I need it now, don't hesitate. I know you only get the super blast one move one time, but when you know you need it, use it. Don't just save it for like the perfect opportunity, because sometimes it'll pass you by.
Right. Anyways, here's game 3. This is a much better game than game 2, and I figured that Chris would bring one of his Scarlet Violet OU teams, because this actually isn't even a Natdex team. This is just straight up one that we've seen before. So he has a little more experience with it, but we're going to watch Rotundo Splash do what he does best and take absolutely nothing from this Dragonite.
And now we see Ice Spinner come out, take out Dragonite, and then going into another quad weak to Ice and watching it explode.
Yeah, that's an unusual play. And then bringing in your quad weak to ground. Yeah. No, I get it. Tusk is big, right? And that's like, this is the play. You don't sack Shaman Sky before you do the Glamora play when you have that as your option.
Yeah, so we also see
I think Shaman Sky, or in this case Tropius, actually matches up pretty well against this team.
Yeah.
So, and then Chris doing a good thing getting those T-Spikes off the field. And now we're going to also just remember that Unaware is a thing.
Yep.
Get out of there.
Yep. You could beat Terra Grass to get the boost,
Good Terra, but it's
a good Terra, but not now.
Yeah, not now. Later on.
Yeah.
And you are toxic, so you're going to slowly be racking up that damage. There is an ultimate Clodsire counter sitting on the back end of this team. Here he is. Could have been here many turns ago. And that being said, I believe this is also a Salt Cure body press set, like Iron Defense body press, very standard. Start curing, start getting things in.
I like that double switch from
that
Chris.
Switch was fun. Yeah, that was a double switch. Needs to hit Sucker Punch.
Yeah.
Because that monkey does get superpower. And honestly, that's just a lack of playing the meta. I'm going to say it. Not many people who are brand new to Natdex are going to remember that this funny monkey who's known for only hitting grass moves gets a
very
4-time effective speed power.
Yeah.
As for Chris here, that was a very odd toxic. There is literally nothing left that can be toxic. But I do like this spike stacking. So if you're going to do something, get the Garganackle on the way in.
Yeah, for sure. Because at this point, you know what? Clodsire is here. We're going to just speed it up, We know how this one's going to go.
And honestly, this is GG. They're just playing it out. I totally respect it. I mean, you could bring in your Garganackle, sure, but then Heatran comes in and walls you forever, so...
And then you're still here, you get a little earthy quakey.
If I just have one piece of advice for Conk, Chris, I would just say build a new team each week and let us know what you like. Giving us that team, even if you're not confident with it, it'll help you understand what's available to you and what's in the meta, what's around. That way you can kind of grasp what's going to be, you might be up against too.
Yeah, for sure.
Just picking sample teams and import-export and old teams is fine. Like, you might get the hang of them. They might be easy to use. But
that's how I learned how to play games,
available. Yeah. And first of all, it's like, I know he's been busy, so I'm not going to blame him too much for these last 2 weeks. Hopefully that changes. I think the next week he should be back again. But I personally very much enjoy building teams. I think it's probably the most fun part of Pokemon. So I do want to see what you got going on in that think tank. I drafted my entire team based off of just that.
Yes.
But we're moving on now to another think tank guy of mine.
Yes. And me too. So
look at these teams. Look at these.
So we're gonna let this one go a little bit. So now with home, we see the little dog is here.
Yeah, the biggest dog, you mean?
Yes, this dog is crazy, and we see Tim's over-reliable Flopsy.
Oh yeah,
like I think he's been here pretty much every week, and he's always done something.
Love Zoro. Zoro?
Yeah, Blozora.
What a good mon, honestly. For him.
It is very good. And
having
then,
those two
so
immunities.
this bird,
Yeah, no, it's board. It's board. It's this board.
this bird, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Funny.
it's funny.
Not good.
It's not good, but it is funny.
Yeah, I'll just say to anybody thinking of running range-ish sets in Little Cup, you just don't get that HP recovery because like you're using, especially with leftovers, you're losing that Violate bulk that you want. And Wingull, being probably the only one that can do it, doesn't have any bulk to begin with, so he will just die.
Yes.
If you do want to run something like that, you have to support it with like Toxic Spikes at best, maybe, but it's something that's never actually translated well over to a Little Cup format.
Yeah.
The HP numbers are just too low.
You run Eviolite or Focus Sash, or you run the items that make this format playable.
Speaking of items, I still don't know what that Voltorb was holding because he did not lose anything from that knockoff.
I don't think it had an item.
That's crazy. But he does have Aftermath, which is a really cool ability. And honestly, I think Voltorb is a little underrated. And we might even get the new one coming in as one of the mons now, too. I think people should take a look at.
Yeah, so we see, Dante going for Crab Hammer.
That was a misclick, if I remember correctly, that Crab Hammer. He was very sad about that.
I believe it.
Because that certainly is not the move you hit against the 2.5 speed, 1.5 defense monkey that's now trailblazing your team to death.
Yep.
But luckily for him, he managed to stall out the Grassy Glide just enough to miss Gunk Shot.
Just a missed a Gunk Shot, yeah.
What a shame.
Yeah.
Otherwise, a good set. Kind of ruined by, sadly, a misclick. I mean, I'm not going to talk about missed moves. We've seen enough of those today.
Yeah.
But,
so the Trick Room on Drifloon?
Yeah, right?
Wild.
I've never seen this. We know it's possible, but I've never seen anyone attempt it. I think that's really cool. But sadly, his last two mons are a little too fast to abuse Trick Room, especially with the paralysis on the enemy team. So the synergy isn't quite there.
Yeah.
But I do like the idea. And then Tim gets to clean up with his
Tim cleans up with his little duck.
Yeah.
So
that was great. Good duck.
Yeah.
We didn't get to see the fun boys, but that's what game 2 is for.
Yes. So now we get to see some fun guys. See this Growlithe? He can't see, but he can kill you. So, Voltorb down turn 1, which is crazy. Fuck that bird in particular, takes 70%.
Bro, I actually think this Rain Dance here was the right play. Because now you just get the Roost, and it's like, okay, you got your Arcanine counter back until he starts hitting Head Smash, which is fine.
It's fine, yeah.
So that's actually the one case I would say, good Rain Dish set. It specifically just worked in that case. But if he had the Violate in the first place, maybe he would not have taken 70 from that.
Also, Eevee just killed a man.
Oh yeah, Eevee using Last Resort strats is really, really funny, but also there is a Drifloon in the back, and if you ever see Eevee hitting Protect turn 1, get to your Ghost type. Just get there.
Yeah, there.
It's dumb. It's a bad set, but I love it. Yeah. And I'm proud of Tim for using it this week. Yeah. It was really good.
It's like the synergy between Pawniard and Zorua is just, it's so good.
Oh, it's the most broken thing in the team. Oh yeah, it's great.
I'm on record saying I don't care for Little Cup as a format, but I really do love like that interaction in particular. I think it's I think it's really cool. But anyway, we're gonna watch the dog click Flare Blitz.
Dante did end up packing 3 mons before he went back to his Growlithe counter, and that is a little unfortunate because I think this game had a lot more in the tank if we got to play.
That's barely even a counter. Look at this, boom.
Yeah, 95%, no Violate.
The crit,
there we go.
That's just
again, cool. Just think if that happened a little bit earlier. Who knows? But now we watch as no Violate means this bird will go down eventually.
And then Tim
whatever
sees
the knockoff
that,
comes.
it's I can't break it.
Yeah.
And we're gonna see an SD.
Where's the SD? There it is.
We're gonna see it, and at this point, it's
over.
done.
Bonk. Crit.
The crit saves us all the time. Tim played a very good game. Dante had some really cool ideas on his team. He had some unfortunate misses and stuff, but I think the thinking was in the right place, and I think that's a great start.
And also, he did bring Ball his life. We can all respect that.
He did. Brian, you want to talk about? I'll get this one started, and you can talk about this one.
Sure. Aaron is a really cool doubles player who really likes his ice types, and that was why I decided to bring fighting And then I remembered, ice types rule. They're so good.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't even need to have the Aurora Veil up. The new snow mechanics mean I can't kill these things.
Yeah, like you have to double up on everything.
Dark water. Yeah, my main thought process for bringing my fighting team was I didn't want to bring a team that lost to the old Titans that were dark and water, and I wanted to bring something that could handle ground and ice. So I figured those might be the new Titans, and at least for Aaron, he might just bring ground, right? Because that's what he likes to do. But that being said, ice is really scary. Looking at his team, I have a couple Focus Sash Mons on my team. There is a Baxcalibur with Icicle Spear and a Cloyster with Icicle Spear, and both of them could also have Ice Shards. So that was not fun.
Is that Bandit or Shifu?
No, it's Assault Vest. That's why he lived the Blizzard.
Yeah.
Or the Freeze Dry, sorry.
Also, Monkey just evaporated. What?
Yeah, Monkey evaporated because he's a DD Glaive Rush. And Chien-Pao.
Oh, Chien-Pao. Duh.
You know, this whole team is this team that Aaron brought is probably one of the top tier teams I can think of, but the whole doubles OU metagame has in monotype has switched now with these new mons. There's so many possibilities, and I'm really excited to see what people come up with. And once I saw the Chien-Pao was sashed here, I figured the game was over, but I still went for Moonblast on Baxcalibur.
And he lived
just
because
didn't get the roll. So that effectively sealed it up, because Zapdos here was only Tailwind support and can't do anything. But
even then you're slower anyway, and
yeah, he was slower anyways. Yeah.
And watching this live, I was like, oh my god, Aaron, please don't click Cell Smash.
Well, it turns out it didn't matter. I did check to see if Shell Smash was faster, but he does have the Sash, and he doesn't have Ice Shard.
No.
So this game could have been over a lot earlier, but it was effectively over as soon as I missed the KO on backs. So
yeah,
a good game one. I like that. And I said, I'm not losing the ice again. So I brought Rock. And this is not even a new Rock team. This is the old Rock team. And Aaron Fairy, did you help him? Who made him? Who helped him make Fairy?
So I did. I said, holy shit, they unbanned Fluttermane.
They did. They really did.
Well, that's how this started. And Aaron said, I want to use Belly Drum Azumarill, and it's going to be a great time.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I said,
straight up saw.
I said, okay, probably want to do Trick Room. And then he went and led his only offensive presence on the entire team. And that was it.
I actually didn't hate leading Fluttermane, but you just can't
the Flutter lead was fine.
You can't run it with a Juno. You got to run it with a support mon.
Yeah, you can't. Azu was not the play.
Yeah, and the only reason. Oh, we're going to also talk about Aaron probably could have won this match if he hit more Diamond Storms.
That's if he just got any defense boosts ever.
I'm not even sure if the defense boost was the big one. It's just simply getting that extra damage with the Diamond Storm on Lamora here, who was Sash. Also, I love Curse Mimikyu. I'm gonna say it. It's cool.
Yeah.
It made me have to take my Garganacl off the field. Who would have never left otherwise?
Yeah.
So, and then I got red card. Which,
by
the way, I'm not sure I agree with red card Curse Mimikyu.
It's funny.
It's funny, but only if you go first and you're in Trick Room against the two slow.
No. So it's like, someone hits you, you red card them out, and you curse what comes in, or whatever.
Oh, totally, right. Yeah. But it's doubles. It's really hard to determine who's hitting you and who's getting cursed. But it was. We haven't talked enough about these Diamond Storms. There's the first defense. It's been unfortunate.
How many? He's clicked it 4 times, has missed 3 times, and got 1 boost, and it is a 50% chance on each target.
I'm actually not sure about that in doubles. Are we sure about that?
It is. It's 50% per hit.
But now we're going to watch as this hurdle comes in, and I said to myself, well, he can't Fairy. Hit Stone Edge moment. And it dies. Yeah, it dies.
That's it.
Yeah, Lamora can't hit this because I forgot to run Earth Power on it, so I'm literally just trying to wait for something else to come in to hit this thing. And we get Thorns to finish the job here with good old Earthquake.
Yeah, so that was a bad lead on Aaron's part. I mean, Flutter was fine, but with Azu, you got to protect that thing, especially against Mono Rock. That thing in Trick Room, just clicking Aqua Jet would have been insane. And just
clicking Liquidation half the time. It's probably faster than half this team. So yeah, and then we got a cool game 3.
I wouldn't call it cool.
Oh wait, I'm so sorry. No, I forgot.
So anyway, There was about 10 minutes between game 2 and game 3, and we turn it on and we see Brian bringing Mono Steel, and
Yep. The only thing I really thought of was, man, I just want to bring something that doesn't lose to ice, and I said, all right, let's try Steel. I then realized later on when I was when we finally got the team preview that Goldango can hit Make It Rain and kill literally every single thing because Clef can get rid of the snow. So that's what you're about to watch. Honestly, Klefki, super underrated, should probably be brought on every single Steel or Fairy monotype team. But that's only if that's only if you want to run.
If you want screens, it's good to have.
Yeah, screens and weather changing. I think weather changing is pretty big in this format, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because so many of the types like water and fire and ice and even rock, they don't want to have their only good thing go away. And Klefki, one of the best abusers of just taking that away from them. So literally nothing Aaron can do about it. It's not his fault. Sometimes you just get got in this format, and that's
he just got. It was just a bad type matchup, and
yeah,
that's one of those things where it's like you'd be like, oh, Brian knew that Aaron only had 2 teams, so naturally he's gonna bring the biggest counter to both of them. But it's like, yeah, but Brian has 30 teams. That's just intelligent. That's thinking. Yeah. Oh, if he could only have the 2 teams. Why don't I bring the thing that will beat both of them the best? Especially with Aaron being like, oh, my Ice Team won, I'll go back to that. It just makes perfect sense, Go to your counter. That's strategy. That's good.
Yes, absolutely. Honestly, if he brought like Grounder like fighting this team, I was probably done for. But who knows? Like, I didn't even know if he had a 3rd team or not. And I think that's why it's always good. He did?
He didn't.
I do think it's a good idea to just make 3 teams, even if you don't plan to bring 3 teams, just to have that option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here we go. We got some OU. David's got Trick Room. JT has Stall. I'm just kidding.
JT has. Oh boy, what was this?
JT has offense with Toxapex.
This is actually just offense, yeah, because that's
this
not
is just offense with Toxapex.
No, that's an offensive Tox too. It's not the recover one.
Yeah, even then, he's still there.
All right, did you guys just watch that turn 1? Because that's what you're going to see for the rest of the meta.
Yeah, I love this thing. I love Samurott. I think he's great.
Yeah, all these new Mons coming in are all really good, but man, Samurott might be the best.
This horse is crazy. This horse is Lurse. However, he is clicking Icicle Crash on a water type.
Yeah.
So it was just not the matchup. I think you go into the bear and you just kill him and you don't think about it.
Yeah, I agree.
So
Samurott's just going crazy, yo. And you only got 1 layer of spikes up too.
Yeah, at that point, like, I don't know, I would have just continued to spam it. But again, that's just me. So sub Ursa is kind of cool.
It is cool.
He's also lefties.
But he doesn't do well against this Goodra, so like just kill Goodra.
I don't know about lefties. I think you just run the Flame Orb and you just kill people.
True.
So
there's certainly 2 ways to think about it. I personally think Ursaluna is a little overrated. Like, it can kill things, sure, but it is just
it takes a lot of team support to actually make into the unstoppable machine that it is.
Exactly. And we're watching David bring Trick Room here with Cresselia, who now takes 23 from a Rotom Hydro Pump, and then he switches him out? I'm not sure about that one.
I don't know. I guess it's...
weird about this, Chris?
I think he's kind of seeing that, I kind of need it.
Right. And then we flamethrower the Rotom. So that's cool. That's a Scarf. That's a Scarf Slowking.
There you go. Yeah.
Yep. Brings it in, takes 21 from Lando. Cool. Good talk.
And then at this point, you look at JT's team.
You look at JT's teams and you think of this. You look at the Psychic Resist and you go, there is none.
Mm-hmm. So and then you go, no, I'm worth looking. How do you beat him?
How do you beat him? Where's the ground? Where's the ground normal resist? Oh, get hit by Surf. Okay. Yeah. Well. And
it's actually slower, so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure JT said he EV'd his Toxapex to be slower than Ursaluna and Trick Room, which is an interesting strategy because you have to rely on them actually bringing Trick Room.
Yeah.
And then we watch. Man, it just really there is a clear difference between teams that bring King Gambit and teams that don't.
Yeah, I think you should just bring King Gambit.
I'm so busted. I might even get him and not bring him at this point.
Yeah. Every time he does shit, I'm like, yo, this guy's crazy.
-1 attack, deals 50% to Landorus.
Yeah.
Bulky Landorus, cool.
Yeah. The one thing, like, I will say about Sneasler as he goes down, having to rely on Night Slash for coverage to hit a Psychic type is awful.
Yep.
Like,
no, it's terrible. It's terrible.
It's so bad.
But, you're really just bringing him for fast Dire Claw close combat, and, you got the rest of the team to deal with Psychic. Anyways, here's a
that
crit.
was a pretty
81.
big crit if this didn't kill. But at this point, he's at +3, +2, and, well, that's that.
I'm pretty sure that crit was completely wrong.
Yeah.
Because, man, that King Gambit can do whatever he wants.
Because, like, if that was, like, a Fizz-Def Toxapex and it had somehow lived that, and then was able to kill with Surf, then it'd been like, oh, that was crazy.
We had game 2. Game 2, a little bit different team from David, and gosh, what was Triple's team here? I think he brought a pretty standard team, and then we just were like, hey, there's no pursuit. Try Hoopa Unbound. See what you think.
It's funny because, like, I look at this and I don't think I wouldn't call this standard. I would just say there's some dudes here.
When I say standard, I mean triple standard, not regular standard.
But I also see there's 4 things weak to ground.
Yep, there sure is.
With Great Tusk and Landorus on every single team, I don't know if I agree with that decision. Sure, you can claim Terra or whatever. And
I would never consider Glamora to be, like, super relevant toward your type resistances because most players want to just lead it as a suicide lead, and I get that.
Yeah, so obviously David's like, well, Tusk just goes crazy. Why not just lead with it? But,
But then you're, okay.
Yeah, but now look at you.
Now what? now you're letting Glamora do what it does best. So, what do you think of this one, Matt?
I think he's cool, but I think he has Electivire syndrome, where he is very cool, but like he doesn't really accomplish a lot of things.
Talk about that Drain Punch doing 33 to a specially defensive Muckalola. That's pretty funny. Yeah, that's fair. I feel like the Esper Wing strats are really cool, but like you just don't have the power to break through with them.
It's so hard to set up.
Yeah.
To where it's like, it's not really worth it. Also, I think Life Orb Hisui Samurai is insane, and everybody should try it at some point.
Worth sacking yourself because, oh my gosh, you chip everything. You kill everything.
Look at the Sucker Punch. 24 -2.
Oh my god, half he did 24. Yeah. That's so good. We're slowly watching as Heatran goes crazy with Terra Grass.
I don't think David put together that he was Scarf at that point.
You didn't think?
Nah, because you wouldn't have Terra'd there. You wouldn't have had to proc it.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you get hit by Cloud here. But hey, guess what? You didn't hit Recover earlier, so you lose your Crowd. I know you want that Toxic on the Grass type, but just get yourself into healthy range. Don't get yourself down to that Magma Storm or Earth Power killing range.
Yeah. So Terra Flying, that shit's cool. I like that.
Here. Yeah, that was amazing.
It's like the one thing that Lando has wanted.
Yeah, for real. Good flying type move.
Anyway, look at that. Big Dragon Energy. I would not have switched.
You would have slammed it again?
I would have slammed it again.
Yeah, I think I would have slammed it again too, honestly.
There's no reason not to. Because now you're kind of stuck in a spot where all your dudes are at low HP and...
Yep.
Now you're getting goodered.
And when you come in next time, you can't Dragon Energy as easily. You might not get this kill.
Yeah, because look at Earth Power to nothing.
Yeah. There is something to be said of when you have something that requires HP to be used, like an Eruption user or, Water Spout, in this case, Dragon Energy, just send it. There's no resist over there.
Yeah.
Just send it. Get what you can. Mm-hmm. Let the rest of the team clean up.
I always say, like, with, as a Typhlosion enthusiast just in life,
mm-hmm.
It doesn't win games. It just does obscene damage for, like, 3 turns. You're like, this is great. Okay, he can die. He's done his job. And that's kind of it.
And just a small note to David on that one. Matt did say that, there was such a weakness to ground on that team, and yet it felt like Great Tusk never hit the field.
Yeah.
And even then, you might even have Ice Spinner and cover everything.
This is, in fact, the same replay. So I'm going to get the other one up real quick.
Cool.
All right. So looking at this team, well, there's 2 cleavers.
Yeah, that's really odd. I thought that was funny.
Yeah. Also,
I really want their rocks.
I do want to talk about David's team as we get into it.
Yeah,
he said, I want to win, I want to make a hyper offense team. This is not a hyper offense team. He's like, it just doesn't, there's not much going on, like, in terms of, like, synergies at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. I just don't think this team is very good.
I think it's, on paper, it does everything a hyper offense team wants to do. Has the rocks mon, has the screens mon, has the special sweeper, has the physical sweeper. I'm not sure what Zarud is for, but hey, it's there.
Yeah.
And like that does technically constitute a hyper offense team, but you know, there's a lot of there are certainly a lot of agents on that team, and that means, you know, you're gonna struggle sometimes, even against weird mons like Avalug.
Yeah.
But he did end up starting off with a good. I think David started off well here, hitting that, knowing that there was nothing on Triple's team that could take on Urshifu at all, and leading that right off the bat. That's a good play.
Yeah,
especially
for sure.
with the punching bag. That that Rocky Helmet Torn literally lost immediately on entry. So
yeah, which is cool.
All right, but now we're gonna watch something really funny, which is Avalug not being a terrible mon because now he can change his type. Yeah. And it turns out that being able to change away your 4 times
being the biggest bird versus David's team
versus this
very good.
David's team is good, right? And still having your Claude in the back, not making Oricorio still not want to come in, and even Sten, look at that.
It's like Oricorio is just not gonna do anything in this game. Like you look at team preview, go, okay, this thing is useless.
I actually was really scared about it because I figured that Triple was gonna have to terror his Avalug, and I went, well, as soon as
has Claude Sire.
Well, yeah, you'd think he has Claude Sire, but now he's dead.
Well, that's true. At this point, I just spent like on team preview just looking at it.
Oh, sure. Yeah. No, Claude Sire can wall that thing forever, for sure.
Yeah, and losing Espeon early was just...
It's unfortunate. I really want to use Espeon more, but it just can't handle. Yeah. It can't stay on the field.
Yeah.
And the biggest...
Also, the poor roll. Because if that had killed, I think David won this game.
Right. And then the biggest rapid spin right there from Avalug. I was shocked that he didn't hit recover again.
Yeah, me too. And then, you got to...
Yeah, and then we have this happen. Boom, pause the game. That's where it ended, right there. Because check it out. That defense drop. Every other mon on this team could not one-shot this Oricorio.
Well, missing Hurricane sucks.
Oh, yeah, missing Hurricane sucks too. Yeah, sorry. We'll talk about it. There was a misplay at the end here. David himself said it. We kind of glossed over the point where it happened. That should have led to this game being a little closer than it was, than just Muck, taking the last 2 sweepers out. But I don't think it was so much bad play as it just was like, when you want to commit to hyper offense, you got to commit like the whole team around 1 or 2 hyper offense mons, and I think this team might have just been spread a little too thin.
Yeah.
Like, you have Scarf Typhlosion, but he's not really a hyper offense mon.
No.
Like, sure, he comes in there and hits Eruption,
like you're not supporting him. Like, I know. I guess when I had said like this is a bad hyper offense team, that's kind of speaking out of line. It's more just like the kind of thing with I want to use all these cool guys all on one team. You have to have some form of strategy in mind, some core thing that you could kind of facilitate throughout a game. It's like a general game plan. But with a team like this, it's like Dave's like, I want to use the funny Metronome Fury Cutter set, which is great. We want to build a team around it, but then it's I want to use Scarf Typhlosion, I want to use Oricorio, then it's like, okay, now we have a lot of pieces that are hard to make work, and there's only so many things you can plug in those last 3 slots to where you can make them work the way you want them to.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's kind of my whole statement on the, gotta have agency on everything. It's, have agency, have cool shit.
I would say Triple's team is an agency team. There is nothing normal on that team.
Yeah, it's like you have cool stuff, have things that are unique. It could be cool moves and sets on normal mons, but you have to support them well. If you throw too many moving pieces, you'll get your cool replay where it works perfectly, everything goes to plan, but then you'll also end up at 1080 on the ladder. So it comes a balance where it's like you can get that perfect lineup of things, but then, you know,
in order to make it work, it just needs to have that right support, and that's something JT's team did have in this game 3. As weird as it looks, there is a specified role for each of these mons to support each other. We didn't see it in Torn because he didn't realize the Rocky Helmet interaction, but you know, there was the special wall, the lead rocker, the physical wall, the setup sweeper. He had everything you wanted, even if it was with weird mons.
Yes.
And I assume when David makes his teams for me next week, he'll have all this in mind, and I'm excited to see whatever he ends up bringing. So, with that being said, we're moving on to Gen 7.
Yes, we are playing Gen 7, and we have yet another rain team. Brian, what is going on with your team and bringing rain every single week?
Did you notice who's bringing the rain teams? Just take a guess.
I know where they're coming from.
Oh yeah, no, it's genetic. It's genetic.
It is genetic.
I think they're transferring away from their sun roots and bringing in the rain. Why they all want to? Everyone on my team wants to bring rain.
Which is funny because most of the time when you guys have been bringing rain, it hasn't been working.
No, it doesn't work because we don't make teams that win against Road and Wash. But like, it's just what people want to have fun, and I'm not going to stop them from having fun.
Yeah, for sure.
So, like, if you want to bring rain team number 8 that also loses the Road and Wash, I say go for it.
Yeah.
Like. And Hall making a good lead here. I like lead Rotom because you know that Pelipper's got a lead. It's a rain team.
Yeah. So I was funny. Like I was in chat. I was muted at the time. But like I came back and I saw, and I'm just yelling, pump, 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 pump.
Yeah,
like we're all thinking it's like do it, and he didn't do it. I was like, boo.
To be fair, we saw this exact same play happen in the other game where the Volt Switch did kill the Pelipper. Sometimes, you know, the wrong play is right. It's just who's your opponent.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm not sure why Adam sacked his Lando just to get rocks up, because I think Lando's really important against the team that Hall brought.
Yes. I also, you know, I talked about this with Hall during the end of the set. Kartana is a grass type. It wants the boost from the grassy terrain. It is a 1.5 boost in Gen 7.
Sure is.
You know, Bulu is Scarfed. That is also a steel type.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do
what's
that.
The problem? No, what's the problem? I say if your team wants to give
this is the
Kartana
first instance, you know, it's like, it's fine, you know, it's like I could do this, you know, you expect it to be Scarf, right? It's switching out of Rotom, it's gonna click, even still, it's gonna click Leaf Blade. That shit's gonna hurt.
Oh yeah, totally.
But, you know, because Tapu Bulu would have been insane for the rest of this game.
Tapu Bulu wins practically the whole game, but he did trade. And trading with Kartana is just as good as, you know, winning the whole game.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
But it
I also
make sense.
don't know why Pat didn't click. Actually, no, never mind. Ignore that.
You do know?
I do know. As it turns out, it would have been a bad play.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway. So right now, Ferrothorn is just kind of an issue. And
yeah, you think you have enough fighting types for it, but you never really do.
No. And Keldeo barely not getting the KO, which is a shame.
Keldeo's in that weird position where, man, I really just wish you could have like a close combat special move.
Yeah.
No, here's Sacred Sword.
Yeah, Secret Sword is very good. I mean, Keldeo, he's had his time in the broken spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
And now we kind of get to see Mega Lopunny kind of go crazy at this point, because now the steals are gone. That was a pretty nasty crit.
That's nasty. I forgot about that crit.
That was a pretty nasty crit. But I actually think it would have 2-hit KO'd from that percent anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So.
You're right. I keep forgetting it's 1.5 times in Gen 7, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Not super. But I think it mattered in my heart.
Yeah.
I love the defog against other Rotoms, because now you can just spam your own Hydro Pumps.
Or you can just get all your souls back.
Yeah, we can get your souls back. And then Adam feeling sub Rotom, very, very unused set in my opinion.
Sub split Rotom.
Sub split is like Gen 4.
That's a DPP set.
That's a DPP set, but not that it's bad. It just doesn't like. We're gonna watch these two Rotoms forever.
Was pretty nice too.
Yeah. Now we're getting Hall's getting everything, but
so
bam, whoa, Wiki Berry moment.
So,
hold on.
Yeah, just to kind of pause it here, right?
Yeah.
You don't need to go fake out. He's in range. He's at 30%. You can click return. It'll die.
You are clearly faster.
Clearly faster. It's like you don't know the item. Wiki is the standard item, but now all of a sudden your Lopunny is not looking the best. Adam did kind of mess up there, not going for the kill.
Yeah, even just a Volt Switch or a Hydro Pump would make way more sense than what that was. I'm not sure what that play was. Because now we get to have Lopunny cycle fake outs, and there's nothing you can do about it, especially when you're poisoned.
Yeah, especially when you get that's what Poison Touch does. You know, it's better chance to get it than not. So
that was definitely no luck there. That's normal stuff.
And then the
Lopunny didn't hit the fake out. You're on a timer. You're on a timer at this point.
Yeah, the game's over.
But it was a good game one. Some weird sacks, but definitely we got to watch the washing machine win a game again. And I will never not be happy about that. But man, guys, come on, please. And now, you want to talk about this one? Because I might be dying.
We'll talk a little bit. We'll get into it. So as you can see, these teams are very similar. You know.
Oh yeah, I was shocked when they brought him out.
Yeah, I was like, this is cool. And
it was actually quite neat.
Yeah, so
I thought everyone was just bringing cringe sets, and then boom, HP Ice.
HP Ice, you know, of course, as it should be. You know how it is.
So you're bringing your SERP to that, right?
Yeah, it's like bringing in SERP. I don't know. I wouldn't do it because now the U-turn, but the helmet chip is nice.
I still will never understand the helmet SERP.
It's for things like that.
It is, but man, when does he get the chance to recover that HP?
He doesn't. He doesn't need to. That's not his job. He's not there to stick around forever.
That's not.
And then right here,
hold on, pause. Turn
pause. This was the moment where I knew that we needed a miracle to win this week. Pat, I'm digging into you because you said you weren't gonna listen, so I'm gonna go after you. This is the worst play of all time.
I think you might be right.
This is the worst play I've ever seen in my entire life.
Petition to change the Adam Brain emote to Hall Brain for this one. It's the same mon. It can still work.
Yeah. Because right now, Excadrill has won the game. It is turn 6. I don't care who's here. SERP is at 9. He's dead on entry. Who cares?
Where's Gyarados?
Bring in the freaking dude. Bring him in. You get Intimidate. Whatever.
Yeah. I want to say we all make, we all brain fart. We all make mistakes, right? But man, this one's funny because this one's really unfortunate.
This one's really bad.
Man.
Then
SD. Adam with a huge SD. Oh.
And
the game was over. Great SD, Adam, by the way. That was a pretty good call out. But here's Bagurdia trying to make things happen and just, nope, not bulky enough.
Go Heatran, use Live,
Nope. Okay, all right. Also, I guess, even so before this, I know you're trying to stall out that Mold Breaker EQ, right? You're trying to stall out the Sand Rush, right? So you can get your Gyarados in. I get that's why you sacked all the mons.
But you didn't need to do that. You didn't need to do that.
You didn't need, you just bring in the Gyarados a little earlier. Get the Intimidate, right? He wasn't Intimidate, right? Yeah. Get the Intimidate. Terra away if you're scared of the Rock Slide or whatever. Or the Steel move if you're, you really want to. You can still be.
Oh, it was actually Moxie. It was Moxie. So you could click it. You can just go for Waterfall, get rid of the Excadrill, and then you still have half your team, and you might be able to pull something.
Might be able to pull something out, exactly.
But not when you stall out the Sand. It's like Excadrill's at +1. You live one hit.
He stalls his own T-Tar. You can just bring it back.
Yeah. So.
Not a
here we go.
So we're on to game 3.
Yes. So game 3. Adams brought a team that is close after my heart. I like this team. I think it's very good. Yeah. This is a good team. And also, looking at it, we're seeing Pat has a lot of guys that don't like Celesteela.
No, there are 6 mons in the field that hate Celesteela. Even Rotom doesn't want to deal with it. This is a threat. You should always prepare for it.
You should have an idea in mind, yes. Also, switching in Celesteela on a Rotom is just funny to me.
It's really funny. It's bold as hell.
Yeah.
But one thing Adam's doing here, he is making switches for switches' sakes, right? Mm-hmm. He's trying to get his Finian correctly, and it worked. But man, this is why entry hazards are crucial, guys. He just took all that shit for effectively no reason.
Yep.
And no matter what format you're playing, get your hazards up. That is
Get your hazards
why
up. Very good.
it makes switching bad, even though you still need to. And here's Bulu to do absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
He's kind of dead weight until the Celesteela goes. I'll say it.
Yeah, even then, like, you know, Pat's not really making any kinds of predictions or plays. Adam's trying to, you know, really get momentum and make things happen. Pat isn't doing anything to challenge that.
Right.
Because, like, if you let someone just keep making all these plays and going, oh, I'm kind of cooking them, but you don't, like, challenge what they're doing, they're going to keep doing it, and you're going to get outplayed. And this is when Adam gets in his grooves, and he becomes the championship player that he was when he won.
I want to give Paul, like,
you know what I mean?
one benefit of the doubt there. I want to say one of those Hydro Pumps was trying to catch a Lando on the switch-in, but, like, why are you worried about that, if so? Go to your other Lando. Go to yours.
Yeah. But Adam letting that thing go down was
I do not agree with the heavy slams. I do not agree with letting it die. That Celesteela is walling this team forever. But I get it. He's an aggressive player. He wanted to get his Kartana in safely. And I don't hate it. I also don't know if I agree with Life Orb Kartana. It's so strong.
I think Life Orb Cortana is Cortana.
It is probably the best set. Like, it does the thing.
I don't know. Run a Z move. They don't take the Life Orb recoil, and you get everything you need out of it.
And I know he was running a Z move on other things here, and I get it. Like, he wants Z move extra drill a lot of times and all that. But man.
Yeah, but this, like, you know, obviously you have Z Volk, so that makes sense.
Yeah. So I get it.
Yeah. So
but
at this point, you know,
don't send it to the Scarfmon. You have the perfect switch-in. You have Fitty right there. It's okay though.
So
because this thing comes in.
Yeah, I like, you know, because Pat has shown the drive to switch Bulu in to revenge kill Kartana, which is not
the answer.
That great, but you know, you pray, but you get flame bodied, and you know,
that's a certified Volcarona moment. Is flame bodying the only thing that checks you, and then Adam making a misclick here and surviving because of it is actually insane. And something funny to note here is, well, I guess not funny, but interesting to note, that grassy terrain meant that Hall couldn't switch out, come back in, and kill it. Because the leftovers, or the recovery from the leftovers and the grassy terrain just proves too much to come through. And now we're going to watch a certified SAPA moment, Volcarona sweeping after only one Quiver Dance, which is kind of gross.
He doesn't need any more.
Yeah, definitely doesn't need any more. But yeah.
Yeah. But, like, honestly, that game was just Adam absolutely saucing the fuck out of Pat to the point where it was, like, not even close at all.
Adam's version of hyper offense just happened to click on all guns.
This was just, like, Adam brought a good team that had really good synergy. Like, the SD Kartana broke the hole. It got in a position where, okay, Volk can come in and click the move for free. Muck is gone.
Yep.
That's probably the biggest check that Pat has.
The Volk, yeah.
You know, and you're out of range of fake out.
Whether or not that was intention, it definitely ended up being like it's sometimes really cool to run two sweepers like that. Like, you know, the first one could do it, but if they can break the hole for the second one, it's even better. It's something that's super underrated.
That is hyper offense, baby.
Yeah, that's what you do. For.
That's what you do. You have one person break and the other one clean up.
Like
it's masterful.
Gen 4 versus.
That's why you run double DD.
Yeah, alongside DD.
And speaking of, here we go.
Yeah. Woo! Corey versus Will in Gen 4, the two undefeated, right?
The two undefeated.
Although I guess Chris THT is also undefeated, so we gotta say
he is undefeated. Yeah. So, Zapdos Azelf, you know, Zapdos typically when you see it in the lead slot, you think it's more offensive.
No, Zapdos is not a lead. I'll say it right now. That's an unusual lead. You don't see that any day.
It's got its place.
It totally has its place. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just like.
Yeah. Like, I would say if you're going to run Spec Zapdos without a spinner, you lead it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I don't think about that.
Yeah. And then you just kind of, you know, unleash the damage. You turn out of there, you try it again.
Yeah, you find the ground type on the team. If there's none, cool, you win the game.
Exactly. You know, you click U-turn on the switch, see what their response is, because Zapdos is one of those mons that you can't counter it until you know what it is. Yep. It has no counters.
Jirachi moment. Yep. But when you see lead Azelf, you know what this is.
Well, Azelf is Azelf. I don't know what the heck.
Not sure what the taunt was.
He was taunting.
Like,
I don't know what the taunt's for.
This thing cannot rock you, first of all. So, get your rocks up. Second, I like the T-Wave. But think about it. If you did those the first two turns, that Azelf's around to do more stuff next time. instead of just being dead.
Yeah, I think Will definitely wasted his Azelf.
Yeah, and it is cool to have a suicide lead. I get it. It does its job. It puts the rocks up, but man, odd play. And then I'm not sure what the protect was there from, like, I guess scouting HP ground. But I'm pretty sure most Heatrans can hit.
Yeah, there's no reason to, because like Super Rachi is what runs HP ground, and that comes in at the end of games. Like, you don't bring in Super Rachi on turn 4.
Yeah, especially when it's like you can bring in your Jirachi answer still. And wait, actually, he brought in the Heatran into the Jirachi, right? Yeah, he did. He brought the Heatran into Jirachi. So, like, I'm pretty sure that, like, unless you were super worried about...
Like, I guess if you're afraid of, like, Scarf or, you know, getting tricked or something, I guess. But even then, that's not
fair.
really...
That's fair. But, and then going into T-Tar, you just kind of lose the momentum. And that's the only downside, really, of running Protect on a lot of mons, is you do need it.
Yeah.
But it can be a negative gain.
Yeah, so now we see, you know, Corey didn't get full paired. That Roost would have been huge because we see that the Zapdos is Fizdef.
Yep. And there we go. I did like the first.
And now Latias is gone.
Latias is gone, but it will take a good chunk with it. And honestly...
Yeah, but Tyranitar has done what his job is.
T-Tar has done his job. And here's his best friend. Mr. Breloom.
Yes. Mr. Breloom. Himself.
But yeah, there's a Jirachi on the screen still.
Yeah, so one cool thing about this Jirachi set is it outspeeds Loom, obviously. It gets up sub, beats the Spore sets.
Yep.
You know, and then it's just annoying. And then we see the Roar, you know, bringing in Zapdos kind of sucks because there is a Starmie.
Yep.
But also, Machamp is now in a really good spot. Where, you know,
really
it's like...
did not make... Whatever this team is, like, with Azelf and Latias gone, you cannot beat Machamp with what's left.
Like, you have Gyarados, but rocks are up.
Exactly. Rocks are up, and you have Rotom, but if it's not Will-O-Wisp Rotom, and well, he could even be Guts, but he's not Guts, right? You see he's not Guts.
Yeah.
But...
Just to kind of go back real quick.
That's my point.
So, you know, did the Dynamic Punch onto Heatran.
Yep.
Heatran is either going to get sacked or it's going to get saved for later.
Yep, save it for later, please.
Don't need a Dynamic Punch. I was yelling, click Edge, click Stone Edge.
Oh, yeah?
Because we've seen Gyarados, and it's reasonable to assume at this point Gyarados is probably the last check to Machamp left, unless there's something like Rotom that's left.
I never hate...
Which, here he is.
I never hate spamming Dynamic Punch, because if they want to switch in and there's no Ghost type, get confused, idiot. But, like, I get it. If there was a Rotom...
In that situation where it's like you've seen Gyarados and, like, knowing this team with Zapdos gone, Gyarados is a problem.
That's true. I mean, I would not have known that from the other point of view. But if you do know that, then you start spamming your Stone Edge, sure.
Yeah, I think...
I don't know what...
Like, I would have gone for sub there, because obviously if you go to bed, you're in a bad spot.
Yeah. I think that's just like an all-out attacking Breloom, but... Even so,
yeah, which still, I feel like you want Spore.
Yeah, you hit Spore. No. I think he's right to hit Superpower because you know that it can sub up. I get that.
Yeah. But then also you get the defense drop, then you can Fire Punch it again.
Exactly. So it's kind of it's like, maybe you just hit Mach Punch at that point. But here's what Conberry Gyarados to do. Well, not a whole lot, but he did live. That's cool.
Yeah, because you can't really... Because at this point, you just spam Recover.
Yeah.
But, or not.
Oh, no.
I was yelling at Corey, like, I cannot believe you didn't click Recover.
It doesn't matter. He went into his own Breloom to get his own Toxic Poison so he could put the bed, I guess. That Starmie didn't have Ice Beam. I don't know.
This is max speed. This is speed tie.
I'm sure it is. I told Will to run max speed Breloom because I hate the bulky Breloons when you're running offensive. They're like, oh, run 208 HP EVs. No, beat other Brelooms.
And that crit did not matter.
Not at all. No, it's not bulky. We just saw it was fast. It could have missed, though.
So
Imagine if it missed.
It could have missed.
Where's the Ice Beam, Starmie? At home.
That's bold Starmie. That bitch does not have Ice Beam. He has T-Bolt for Gyara.
That game got really close because Starmie did not spam Recover, probably.
Even then, I think it was fine.
It's fine. Yeah, because I think Hall made the right play considering there was no Ice Beam. So, or sorry, Corey, not Hall. I'm still messed up.
Yeah. Nah, you're good. All right, so here we go. We got Swampert.
Yep. Combo.
And Zappingtons, so usually you see lead Swampert, you know, it's rocks, probably bulky.
Yep.
You know, I like to lead Tank Pert a lot.
I mean, it's cool anti-lead.
Yeah, Swampert's a good lead, so obviously U-turn is, you know,
Hey, look, it's Swampert.
Biggest Swampert switch in. I'm surprised Will didn't go for Ice Punch.
I'm surprised he didn't go for Stealth Rocks. He probably had it.
Yeah, that's really what it was. But then like I saw the damage, I said that bitch is banded.
Wow, banded Swampert? That's crazy.
That was banded Swampert.
Oh, I can't. I'm not sure I agree with banded Swampert lead, but
yeah, so
it's fine. It's a good mon. What's the Starmie's nickname for, huh?
He is who he is.
Scizor is not a switch in if he's not especially defensive. I'm gonna say
Scizor is not a switch in.
Yeah, it's not. And there probably isn't a
But this also shows that Will does not have a good answer to Starmie.
Yep, and now we're gonna watch the Hydro Pump train come up, and oh no! You're not faster! But you are, because I guess this is Bold Starmie.
Yes, it is. This is Bold Starmie. Yep. So again, like Tyranitar, you can't, you see this is the same team. How else are you gonna have stupid ass nicknames?
Yep. Oh no, I would totally nickname all my guys the same, just so you wouldn't know. Trust.
That's fair.
But we're gonna watch.
So that hidden confusion, that's not great.
Honestly, it's almost why I think sacking the T-Tar there, because you're faster than Machamp and you don't got to switch in, right? Like, your only wall to it right now is Bronzong and maybe Swampert, and you're gonna get confused on both of them. Chip the Machamp away, or sorry, use the T-Tar to chip the Machamp, bring something faster, and force him out, or just kill him.
Like that.
Yeah.
So Fire Blast, it's very unfortunate because you get a burner or something like that.
Now we're gonna talk about Scarfrachi in the back against this team.
Yeah.
It needs to be spreading Para, not hitting Iron Head at this point. But you brought him in as your
because you see that the Fistev Zapdos is alive.
Yeah.
You want to know how to beat stupid flinching Jirachi? Use him.
Yeah.
You pressure stall it out, it can't kill you.
It's true. That is Zapdos' actually number one thing. And that's why you can't call him on, it's just a bad matchup for that one. But then because of that, Zapdos can't do anything to Swampert. So cool.
Yeah.
You get your trade-off in that regard. So I don't think Scarfrachi is weird. I think it's really good, but I think it just needs to be used a little earlier than as.
So it did 44%.
Yeah,
do you have any doubt that's banded?
Sure did, didn't it? Now pause here. Why would you leave Swampert in here? Is my question. I could not think of a good reason why you leave him in. You're slower.
I don't know either, to be honest.
You're slower. You still have a Heatran. You still have a Jirachi. You still have a T-Tar. One of those could even be a sleep sack at this point, because Swampert holds this team down. He checks the Zapdos. He kind of handles, because he's banded, he can handle T-Tar, right? And he can.
That Tyranitar is not a threat.
Yeah. And maybe Swampert. Something in the back can handle it, but you can't. You can't let him go down, because Breloom can't switch into you either. He'll take another 40-something% from the waterfall. So I think that's where the game ended.
Yeah, I agree. I do not think that was a good
I'm not sure what the thought process is. And that's all I want to know later on. Like, yeah, you were definitely behind at that point, but just a weird. And because if Heatran came in and did this exact same thing, but you didn't sack the Swampert, cool. Also, big crit, I guess.
Yeah. So crit absolutely mattered for the KO. 100%. That's undeniable. But in terms of game flow, the game was over when Swampert went down.
Right. That's a
you can look and be like, oh, this is kind of like another thing where you say, oh, JT's luck kind of thing. Mm-hmm. You put yourself in a position where if you get crit, you lose.
Yeah.
So, did it matter here? Yeah. But you could have been fine if Swampert was alive, and if Jirachi went down, it's fine. Now Swampert gets in for free. Yeah. And also, Breloom is chipped.
At the end here, Scarfrachi could, in theory, just Iron Head flinch the rest of this game, as stupid as it is.
It's never impossible.
It's never impossible. So don't let your only win con go away, because now.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he was Shuckaberry. That's hysterical. 17.
Yeah. So.
Oh, that's so funny.
That T-Tar set was a pretty cool spread. I made it myself.
Is that one of the AI generated spreads that I looked at? That was max.
No, I handcrafted that bitch.
What was it for? Heatran technology, I guess.
No, it's actually for Gliscor, because this team does not like Gliscor at all.
Nah, yeah.
It's you look at it, right?
I assume you mean
we got Starmie, who doesn't have Ice Beam. Yeah. I have to rely on Pump. Starmie has other jobs. Yeah. Machamp doesn't really care for Gliscor, especially because it's sub and doesn't have Ice Punch.
It's definitely the you're worried about the SD set more so than the tank set that only runs Earthquake.
Oh well, yeah, that's kind of when I think Gliscor, I think of SD just kind of running through. I think that team's kind of shown its worth. Why don't we end off with a team breakdown? I'll break down that team because I made it and Corey kind of put it on display, and it was
I forgot to call Corey cringe. Well, I'll do it now, I guess.
That's fine.
He's cringe.
Anyway, so we'll do a little breakdown. This is a new special. I'll break down some teams that we think were pretty solid. Mm-hmm. So we got FizzDev Zapdos with HP Ice.
Yeah.
And when I built this team, I wanted to use SD Breloom. That was the whole thought process behind it. Mm-hmm. And one good way to support SD Breloom is through Paraspam. So obviously, I went with the T-Wave subset.
Yep.
And
hey, no Paraspam, right?
Yeah. So went with Discharge over T-Bolt, and then also Machamps just slides on these teams.
This team really does not enjoy Hippowdon.
Yeah. So now talking about Tyranitar, he has Ice Beam. So this is to deal with Gliscor so that I can live +2 Earthquake and one-shot it back with Ice Beam.
That's a gross set, first of all. Those EV numbers are hysterical. You even have the minus in the special attack, and you can still get that guarantee. T-Tar is crazy.
Yeah, because I could have run, if I did Ice Punch, it actually wouldn't, the damage was negligible.
Of course.
And I was like, you know what, Ice Beam kind of is nicer.
Yeah.
And I still get the kill on Dragonite, because Dragonite, what's up?
Oh, sorry, you have Pursuit for the big Dragon Psychics out there.
Yeah, so, obviously, he's the star. Right. In theory, I built it around him, so obviously I have to get rid of Latias.
Yeah.
So, that's why it's Pursuit, and then Shuka to get rid of
Gliscor.
It's
honestly a great way to think about building a team. Like, you got your guy you want to be the win con, and here's the best way to support it. Something that may not look very good off the bat, but has this incredibly nice synergy and does the perfect job you need it to do.
Yeah, like, I've seen a lot of DD Tyranitar from your team, especially because it's very good. It's a good Pokemon. But, like, you don't have to use the same sets of the same Pokemon that are good. You might have to custom make to, make something unique. Which, not that this is a unique concept in any way. This just kind of fit everything that I was going for, and it worked very well.
It's a good mix.
And also,
team, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Wake up!
But, yeah.
Boom.
There you go.
Yeah, that's an odd
I've said this is bad, but it worked. It fit what I needed.
Yeah, I'm not. So I can get my head behind Bold Starmie. I've just never seen it do what it needs to do perfectly. But it does spin. It does.
It doesn't get Pursuit Trapped by Tyranitar.
Exactly. It doesn't get Pursuit Trapped by Tyranitar. It does the 3 things it needs to do, and then you go into Machamp and win.
And also checking Gyarados.
Yeah, it's a big one, obviously. Honestly, a huge one anytime you run a Breloom team is how do I beat Gyarados, because that thing will go crazy on you.
It's very good. But
that's it. It's a good team, and that is a super cool Tyranitar that I don't think we're going to really see again, because it is very custom made for the
Get creative, use your brain power.
Right, and that's, it works. It worked because of that. Nice team. A shame that you made Corey play
it. He said, hey, pass me some heat. And I said, here, I wanted to use this against JT, and I didn't. I wish I did.
Yeah, that would have been really cool.
But I didn't, so.
But yeah, anyway, that's honestly really cool team. Big fan. And a great, it wasn't a perfect, 3-game set or anything, but I think Corey did play really good those 2 games, did what he needed to do. And it wasn't standard. It's standard mons, but used in a pretty interesting way. Like, these are not. Mm-hmm. This is not how I would have built a team, and it's kind of cool to see it from an outside perspective how it works. And I that's why I'm so excited to see everyone's teams each week and go through these replays with you all, because I so much enjoy the creativity that we get to see on display here. So yeah. Good job, good job to you, Matt, for this team.
Yes, if only I hit my moves in black and white, we would have taken a dub, but it is what it is. It's the game we play. At least it wasn't at a regional where, that shit actually mattered more. But, it is what it is. It's cool. Yeah. But, yeah, let me know if you'd be interested in, me recording myself building teams and just posting them up here. You guys can use them and stuff. Just for, your own ladder purposes. I think that'd be fun.
I'll be first one to comment. I'm interested. Beat me to it, guys. Come on.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that's it for this episode. Catch us next week. We're going to talk about very similar things.
No way.
Once again, the washing
duper.
machine. Stop losing to him.
Oh yeah, please. I'm begging you all.
Please. I don't know how many more times we could talk about it. So make something unique. My challenge to Team Brian, don't bring rain. My challenge to my team, maybe not bring Rotom.
Be agents.
Be agents, but like be good.
Yeah, like shades.
Build appropriate agents.
Yeah, I know who that one's too.
Yeah, I don't make jabs.
No, of course not.
Nope, never. Also, do not set up sand for the opponent's extra drill. They are weak too. Patrick.